In this video, we're going to show you our step-by-step process for installing a playset pad. On this specific job, we redid an existing pad that was having some drainage issues, so a few steps will be slightly different than on a typical job. The first step is to measure the site and mark the corners with stakes or flags. We take length, width, and diagonal measurements to ensure that the playset pad is exactly square. We'll also take measurements using our laser level to understand the slope of the site and what we need to do to make it level. The next step is to excavate the area for the new pad using our skid steer. On this specific job, the homeowner requested that we extend the length of the existing pad, which is what you see us digging here currently. We typically remove the top 6 to 8 inches of grass and dirt in our excavation, and sometimes even more if it's needed. We can use the excess dirt to level out the grade, or we can remove it from the site. The next step on this job was to remove the old beams on the side where the extension will go. Since these beams are still in good condition, we later used them to build the extension. Once that process is finished, we can take our skid steer onto the pad area and begin removing the old mulch. We'll transport the mulch and dispose of it off-site. For the fourth step, we'll create a level grade across the entire site using our skid steer. During the process, we'll stop from time to time to check the grade using our laser level. That lets us know if there's any adjustments that need to be made as we go. The fifth step involves laying the courses of pressure-treated lumber for the perimeter of the pad. Once the beams are laid, we'll fasten them together using 4-inch galvanized screws. The exact number of courses of lumber that we use depends on the slope of each particular site. In addition to fastening with screws, we'll also drill holes through the courses of lumber and pound in rebar stakes. This ensures that the pad remains solid over time. For the sixth step, we'll bring in crushed stone and dump it in the pad. We use a crushed limestone aggregate called 3/4 inch clean. We typically spread it about 2 to 4 inches thick across the entire pad area. This layer of stone creates a strong structural foundation while also providing great drainage to the entire pad. For step 7, we add a layer of stabilization fabric over the layer of crushed stone. This fabric adds extra support for your pad, as well as suppressing weed growth and separating the surface material from the gravel base layer underneath. Step 8 involves adding the surface material to the Swingset base. We typically use wood chips and mulch as we find that this is an affordable way to provide great impact protection. We usually spread this layer about 3 to 4 inches thick across the pad area. The final step is adding a sandbox to the pad. This is an optional feature which this particular job did include, but you may or may not choose to add it on your project. Like the rest of the perimeter, we use pressure treated lumber and fasten it together with screws and rebar. And that pretty much wraps it up. After our work is done, you are left with a beautiful playset pad that will drain well and be strong for years to come. If you need a swing set base like this, you can visit us at siteprep.com and request a quote, and we look forward to working with you.